Now, the other question is, does your outlier affect your median? Does your outlier affect your median?
Yes.
Okay, let's have a go, right? So let's say, for example, you had 1, 3, 3, 5, 6, and then you had
15.
Let's say you had 5 as well, and then you had 6, right? Now, okay, let's say you had 15. Okay, so let's find out your median. Okay, what is the median again? What does it sound like? What does your median sound like? Middle. Well done. Okay, good memory. Median, middle. Yeah, literally. So, what is your middle number, Kenzie? 5. How did you do that? You could do bang, bang, bob. So literally, you're 5. Okay? Now, does this number have any effect on that median, middle number?
Yes.
Does it? The middle number still stays the middle number, doesn't it?
No, but if that number wasn't there.
Let's say, for example, yeah? I'll give you a good example of this. So a good example is, if I had a company, yeah? I was a CEO of a company. Let's say I was a CEO of FIFA, right? Okay, so let's say all my employees get paid, for example, let's say 15,000, let's say, for example, $45,000, $45,000, and then you got $60,000, and then let's say, for example, me, because I'm the CEO, I get paid $100,000. Okay. Now, if you were to take an average of that, what would be the average of this information here? What would be the average? How do you calculate the mean? How do you calculate the mean? Does anyone know? Let's say these are the people that worked in my company, including myself, right? What is the mean? Does anyone know? Yes.
You add up all the numbers.
Yeah, you add them all up.
Before.
What are these called? What scores are they called? Dollars, right? Amounts, yeah? So amount of payments, yeah? Add up payments. Yep. And then what do you do then?
Then you divide it by the number of payments you have.
Yeah, number of, okay, well, who do they represent?
Wages.
The people who's getting.
Yes, number of employees, okay? Okay, now, if you add up all these payments, is anyone who calculated that amount? 90, 150, 250K, right? Okay, so that's $250,000, and you divide it by the number of employees. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, what is the average there? What's the mean? What's the mean amount there? Does anyone know the mean amount? 250 divided by 4.
62,500.
What is it?
62,500.
62,500. So on average, this is how much on average people get paid in my company, right? So you can see that actually is not a true representation of the company, right? So let's say, for example, all of a sudden, what's your median for this part here? What's your median for these scores?
50,000.
So median is what?
Is middle number.
Is the middle number. So let's find that out. 1, 2. Okay, we don't exactly have a middle number, right? What do we do to find out that middle number? And you did it before. Does anyone remember what he just said before? So the middle number is these two. It's in between these two. How do you calculate that?
60, what is it, 60 plus?
Yeah, it's between these two.
Yeah, 60 plus 4, 500.
Yeah,
Divided by 2.
So 60,000 plus 45,000 divided by 2. And what do you have there? So what is that? 105,000 divided by 2. What's 105,000 divided by 2? What's that equal to?
52.5.
52.5?
Yeah.
You're right. Well done. 52,500. So that's the middle number. Okay. Let's say, for example, right now, I decided 1 year later, I decided, you know what, we're earning so much money as a company. So I'm going to pay myself, so that's the median number, isn't it? Yep. Now, for example, I decide 2 years later, yeah, I want to get paid $300,000. Okay, because I'm like, oh, my company's doing so well. And because I'm not a nice person, I don't increase other people's payments, their salaries. Does the middle number change now?
Yeah. No.
No. Well done. The middle number does not change. Have a look at that. The middle number still stays the same. The median doesn't change. Guys, notice that point. If you change the outlier, the median doesn't change, right? Okay, if I was to work out the average, the mean, does it change, Riley?
Yes.
Does the mean change? Yes. So that's why it's really important. The disadvantage about a mean to take an average is that it gets affected by these outliers. For example, in the what we did that activity the other day, we had some people that had 6, some people that had 0. That affects our average. Because what did we work out here? 3 siblings, right? No, somewhere here, 1 sibling, right? Okay? But that doesn't take into effect the people that had 3, 4, 5, so on and so forth. So the disadvantage about the mean is that it gets affected by the outliers. Okay? So if we were to take the results of this class out of 100, and we got someone who got 100 out of 100 in their test, right? That skews up the average of the grade to a higher amount. Yeah? So that it's really hard to compare the average of the class, especially when there is outliers that affect the results. Okay? So that's for you to think about it in a broader sense. How is it applied? They use this in everyday life. Okay? Kira? They use this in everyday life. Like footy, they take data. Wherever you go in your day-to-day life, they take this information. Okay? And then they present it. So you got to be careful as to how you analyze your data and what you interpret. Yeah? So you can see here, guys, the mean, the average is affected by my payment, but the median is not affected. Okay? What's the disadvantage about a median? Let's say, for example, there's 1,000 employees I have in my company. What's the disadvantage about finding out the median? Does anyone know how you find the median? What's the set rules to find out the median?
Find the middle number.
Find the middle number, but you've got to do something before that. Yeah, but before that, you're close. You've got to put the numbers in order from smallest to highest. So if you have 1,000 employees, what do you think will happen?
It's going to be a pain in the butt to...
You're right. Well done. Why is it going to be a pain? Because you've got to take so much time putting this amount of data in order from